Hello everyone, welcome to this video. Today I have a new addition to my RC collection and it's going to be a rock crawler from RocHobby. Now RocHobby is a sub-brand of FMS. So let's unbox the Atlas 110 scale 4x4 rock crawler and see how it is. So the first thing that we see is an instruction manual. Now in here you'll have all the steps and information on how to set up the truck and replace any part if you have to. Then next we have a decal sheet. So if you want, you can use these stickers and apply them on the body to make it a bit attractive. Now within this box we have a carry case in which the truck is actually shipped. So let's remove that. Now this carry case is actually pretty good. This box has a nice soft touch to it and it's light in weight, so you can carry it easily, especially when you're traveling. Now on this case we have 3 locking tabs. So once you unlock it, you can lift the top cover. And you also get this grab handle. Now, first thing that I notice is there's a good amount of cushioning on all sides of the truck. So the truck is very well seated in the box and it's not going to move around. Now you do get a spare wheel along with some accessories. Now this orange color is really quite attractive. It's quite bold, I would say, and when you see it in person you would definitely like it. But honestly I was looking for the yellow version. Here we can see some exhaust pipe with some chrome finish. Here we have a quality check certificate. So the truck has been tested before it's shipped. Alright, so let's remove the truck. Now, the very first thing that I feel is the amount of weight this truck has. I wasn't expecting it to be this heavy. So it's somewhere around 2.5 kilograms. So it's got a good heft to it. Then next we have the radio transmitter, which is actually placed at the bottom of the truck. Now this is a FlySky radio transmitter that they have rebranded. Now I've covered this radio in detail, and if you want to check those videos you can check the description. I have the links over there. Alright, so let's focus on the truck now. Like I said previously, most of the FMS models are very well detailed and they have a proper scale look. And this is no exception as well. I mean, just look at it. Just on the front bumper we have this metal cladding on which you can attach a winch. Then you have this big radiator in plastic. You get a nice big bumper on this truck. Here you can see the LED lights, and these are actually functional and they light up in yellow color. Now the tires on this truck feel alright. You cannot really complain a lot. The tread pattern is very similar to the Pro-Line Hyrax tires, although these are not actual Pro-Line tires, and if they were, the price of the truck would be a bit more. So again, nothing to complain about the tires as such. I think they are perfect and they should do the job quite well. The overall height of the wheel is 120 millimeters. On the side of the body we have the footboard. Then we have the door handle and the mirror. Now the mirror is actually a real one. You can see the reflection and it gives a nice realistic touch to the overall crawler. Just as I mentioned before, we have these 2 huge exhaust pipes with some chrome surrounds. The rear bed or the tray is quite long, and you have some metal cladding on the side as well. On the rear we do have 2 reflectors. Now these are not functional. And on this rear bumper we have a coupler or a tow hook, which is actually included in the accessory, and I'll cover that later on. Now we can see that some of the shock oil has leaked. The suspension on this truck is also quite decent. A lot of people have suggested that the suspension have to be swapped, or at least they have to be filled with shock oil. So I'll see how that goes. Now, the body mechanism on this truck is slightly different. We actually have these latches on the bottom side. So you basically have to push the body on the back side and lift it. So then you can lift the body upside. I wish this had a retaining rod to hold the body in place so that it's easier to install the battery or switch on the ESC. In fact, what I'm going to do is I'll remove the front two screws that hold the body and the bumper together, so that way I can lift the body all the way. So this is where the screw was. So as you can see that I can lift the body completely, and if I want I can just place it on the roll cage. So now we have a lot more room to install the battery and see how the electronics are placed. So here we have the steering servo. Now it's fully metal and it's a digital unit, so it should be quite smooth. Although I've seen some users complain the servo is not powerful and you may have to replace it, but I think it will do the job and it should be good. Then here we have the 35 ton 550 brushed motor. Here we can see the fly sky receiver. Now this is actually quite good. You can get up to 80 meters of range on this radio transmitter and receiver, and this receiver has the ANT protocol of fly sky, which is actually their latest protocol. This right here is the gearbox of the truck to which the motor is attached, and this crawler comes with full metal gears in it. Then here we have the hobby wing ESC, which is labeled as 1040. So basically it's a 40 amp brushed ESC. You do get a heatsink on it and an on off switch, and you have some jumpers on it which have to be adjusted. We'll take a look at this after a while. And the power lead has a XT60 connector. The battery tray of this truck is over here. Now it is quite narrow and slim, and we have some slits for the Velcro strap to secure the battery. Now you don't get the Velcro straps in the accessory, you'll have to purchase them separately. Here we can see the steering linkage and the steering knuckle. All the links on this truck are fully metal along with the ball joints. On the bottom we can see the telescopic CVT drive shaft, and this crawler has 4-link metal suspension on it, so it should be able to crawl onto most obstacles quite easily. The frame or the chassis of this crawler is fully metal, which is what gives this truck a good amount of weight and stability, I would say. Alright, so I've installed a Velcro strap on one side. Let me show you how I've done that on the other side. So the slits that we see over here, we basically have to slide the Velcro through them. Like so, and then install the battery and secure it completely. Now I do have a NiMH battery with me which I could use along with the 2S lipo battery, and both of these should fit pretty well. And because these have a Dean's connector, I do have this XT60 to Dean's adapter with me, and I'll be using this. Now before we connect the lipo battery, we need to swap the jumper on this ESC. So from the factory it's on the NiMH side. You'll have to remove it and insert it on the lipo side, so that the low voltage detection can work for a lithium polymer battery. And before I switch on the truck, let's talk about the radio transmitter a bit. Now this is the FlySky G4P radio transmitter. So it's a basic 4-channel radio transmitter, and all the buttons on this radio are push button. We have 2 aux switches for channel 3 and 4. And on the bottom you simply have to insert 4 AA batteries to power up the radio transmitter. And this radio has 4 modes: which I've covered in a different video, and it also has a beginner mode and a expert mode. Alright, so let's install the lipo battery and switch on the truck. Now it's a good idea to slide the battery wire in between the velcro strap so that it's nice and secure. And then turn on the switch. So the LED light is on and we can see the yellow color. Now the battery has to be inserted all the way towards the rear end so that the body can be mounted. So even though I've removed the front two screws for the body, I can simply mount it with the two latches on the bottom and it should hold the body in place. Here's how the steering functions. So here we have the spare wheel and some accessories in this bag. So this is the tire rack on which you mount the wheel and place it on the roll cage at the back side. Then you also get a wheel wrench, and here we have the coupler or the tow hook which can be installed on the rear bumper. This might be quite handy and useful. So the tire rack basically clips onto the roll cage, and then you can simply mount the wheel on it. Now let's remove the wheel and see how the hub is. So the wheel is secured with a 7mm hex nut. Now this is a 12mm hex hub, which is pretty much the standard for 110 scale crawler and RC trucks. Here we can see the steering knuckle. If you want, you can upgrade this to an aluminium one, which is available on the FMS website. The turning radius on this crawler is also more than sufficient. You can also see the CVT drive shaft on the side. Overall, the durability of this crawler is top notch, I would say. Almost all of the parts on this truck are in metal. So overall, I'm really impressed with the looks of the Atlas and the price point it comes at. At about $250, there's not much you can ask for, to be honest, especially in the 110 scale category. If you compare this with the Traxxas TRX4, which is almost twice the price of this crawler, you would realize that there is no comparison as such. The only things which might differ between the TRX4 and this is the portal axle for that extra ground clearance. Now very soon I'll be driving this truck and I'll share the running video as well. In the meantime, I'll show you guys some indoor shots of how the truck performs right out of the box. Let me know what you guys think of this Atlas 110 scale crawler, whether you like it or not. If you found this video helpful and informative, please make sure to like it and subscribe to my channel if you are new. Until then, thanks a lot for watching and stay tuned for more videos.